An international football tournament in Australia has unexpectedly become part of a much bigger political story. During the 2026 Women's Asian Cup, several players from the Iranian national team chose to seek asylum in Australia. Their decision came as war erupted back home following the United States and Israel striking on Iran, placing the team in an extremely difficult position. Iran's women's team arrived in Australia to compete in the 2026 AFC Women's Asian Cup, with matches played on March 2nd, 5th and 8th at Gold Coast Stadium in Queensland. But the tournament already began under extraordinary circumstances. It started one day after the war with Iran began, when strikes killed Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei and other senior officials. As the team prepared for their opening match against South Korea, players appeared visibly emotional and some holding back tears before kickoff. The players first drew global attention during their opening match. As the Iranian national anthem played, the entire team stood silently and did not sing. Fans and rights activists quickly began speculating about the reason. Some believed the players were protesting the Iranian government. Others thought the silence could have been a gesture of mourning after the attacks in Iran. Just days after, the situation changed when Iran played Australia in their second match. The players sang the anthem and saluted it. The same thing happened in their final match against the Philippines. The sudden shift sparked fears that the players may have been under pressure after criticism in the Iranian media. One Iranian state TV presenter even called the team traitors, saying their action during wartime should be punished. The comments quickly spread on social media and raised serious concern about the players' safety if they returned home. The Global Football Players Union, FIFA, stepped and urged FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation to protect the team. Members of the Australia's Iranian community also appealed to the government to offer the players refuge in the country. Initially, Australian officials offered sympathy but did not promise immediate action. That changed as the situation developed. After Iran's first match, 5 players quietly approached Australian authorities and asked for asylum. According to FIFA officials, the team had been accompanied by Iranian government representatives who were monitoring their movements. The players managed to leave their hotel with the help of local activists and the Australian authorities. Australian police then transported them to a safe house, where immigration officials processed their humanitarian visa applications. By early Tuesday morning, the players had been granted permission to remain in Australia. Australian Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke later confirmed that 5 Iranian players had chosen to seek asylum. Shortly afterwards, another player and a member of the team's support staff were also granted humanitarian visas. One player who initially stayed behind eventually decided to return to Iran after discussions with her teammate. In total, 6 players and 1 staff member were allowed to remain in Australia, with visas that could lead to permanent residency. Most of the squad chose to return home. A group of 21 players, their head coach Mazrive Jafri, and other staff members left Australia and are now traveling back to Iran. Because Iranian airspace remains restricted due to the war, the team first flew to Malaysia and may continue their journey via Turkey, which has road connections to Iran. Football organizations remain worried about what could happen to the players returning home. FIFA say athletes in Iran have previously faced severe punishment for political dissent, including long prison sentences and even some death sentences in some cases. Officials say they are urging FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation to pressure Iranian authorities to guarantee the players' safety. Iran's government had publicly said the players will be welcomed back with open arms, but rights groups say they want to see evidence of that commitment. For the players who choose asylum, a new life is now beginning. Australian football clubs have already offered them opportunities to train and continue their careers. Human rights groups, lawyers, and refugee advocates are also helping them settle into Australian society. What started as a football tournament has now become a story about sports, politics, and personal freedom. For the Iranian players who chose to stay in Australia, the decision may shape the rest of their lives. And for those returning home, many around the world will be watching closely to see what happens next. For more such explainers, subscribe to Dawn News English.